Hello, beauties, and welcome back to another fabulous confabulation with me, Jay Mills. Now, today I have the pleasure with speaking to a beauty who has a heart for the comic books. Last year, she has written a comic book called Adventures from My World, and she has received the Gold Award for it, and by the Girl Scout USA, she was selected one of the 10 National Young Women of Distinction. She is a senior at Milbourne High School, and she will be attending Yale University next fall, 2017. So, please help me welcome Julie Averbach.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. This is going to be a good time.
Yes, and I thank you for taking the time out to talk with me and letting me interview you for my blog.
Absolutely.
So, what inspired you to create Adventures from Your World? Like, why did you write that?
So when I was in 9th grade, in my English class, we read a graphic novel called Persepolis. Are you familiar with Persepolis?
No.
So for those of you who don't know, Persepolis is a graphic novel that describes the Iranian Revolution from a young girl's perspective. And as part of my English class, we had to write our own stories. And the first story in the comic book is actually the same story that I wrote for my initial English assignment. And reading Persepolis really showed me that comic books and graphic novels can be used as tools of social activism. And that was what really inspired me to use the untapped potential of this medium. I was inspired to write Adventures from My World specifically, which is a comic book to support siblings and individuals with special needs, because I realized through family experience and through my volunteering in the special needs community that in many families, the parents have to dedicate so many resources to their children with special needs that the emotional needs of the other siblings are overlooked. And this was a perspective that I wanted to highlight, that I felt I needed to raise more awareness about.
So it was your passion and your personal connections that really made you want to go for writing this comic book.
Right. For me, what was really key was finding out what I was passionate about, which was art and telling stories. And then choosing a population that I really wanted to serve, which was the special needs sibling community.
Right. And now, were there some difficulties while making this comic book, like some struggles?
Absolutely. So I would say the first major challenge that I faced was self-doubt. So when I was first thinking about my project, I was concerned and I was thinking to myself, is the demand for this comic book really what I think it will be? How are people going to respond to this? And I had to go through all of those sort of questions. And then once I got past all of that, I had a lot of logistics issues to deal with. I at first thought that I was going to produce the entire comic book on my own. I thought I would illustrate the whole thing myself. And as I did more research in the comic book community, I started to reach out to others. And that was really what got me started, because I realized that people are often very much willing to help you when they see that you're passionate about what you're doing. And they see your enthusiasm. So that really helped me. And of course, I did face some challenges along the way. Some people were more supportive than others. Some saw my project as more of a local, small community issue, and others recognized that it was a global problem. So I faced a lot of different perspectives. Some people thought that my comic book wasn't going to amount to much. Others really saw my vision and were willing to help me see it through.
Yeah, and it seems like the outcome was really good. It's been distributed in 19 U.S. states and 4 countries outside of the U.S.
Yes, and counting.
Oh,
so.
Okay. All right. And how can people purchase or get the comic book? Because I know the outcome is pretty good. How can I share it with other people?
Right. So I will say, once I finished the comic book and in the process of producing it, I collaborated with Peterson Oliveira, Vanessa Solis, and Dove Smiley, 3 incredible artists.
Okay.
Once the comic book was completed, I printed 8,000 copies overseas. And like you said, I've been distributing in sibling support groups, hospitals, libraries, universities, all across the U.S. and the globe. And people can find my comic book on adventuresfrommyworld.com. And through my website, they can read more about it, purchase it, and hopefully share with their friends and family.
Yes, sounds like a plan. So, if a beauty or any of the viewers wanted to create a comic book, what are some steps that you would give them?
So I would say the first step, as I mentioned before, is just choosing something that you're passionate about. So if that is art, and if you do want to choose choose to convey your story through a comic book, then you really want to think about what's going to make your comic book unique. Who do you want to support? Who do you want to help? For me, the special needs sibling perspective was one that was sort of misunderstood and neglected. I think a lot of people don't realize that when you have a special needs member in your family, it affects the entire dynamic, and everyone in the family is affected. So for me, that was really key. And picking a population that I felt passionate about serving really helped me throughout when I was having those moments of doubt, or when I wasn't sure whether I really wanted to get up at 7 a.m. and go speak to a group of siblings. But knowing what my mission was and who I was trying to serve, that really motivated me, and I felt like I was doing something that I really wanted to do, not that it was just work. So I would say that's the key issue, is you want to pick something that you love. And then in terms of actually producing the comic book, email me, call me up, and I will help you out. If you go to my website, you can reach out to me anytime. I'm all about supporting other girls with their missions, so I would be happy to help you if you need help with the planning and the more technical aspects of it.
Okay, so basically the steps would be passionate about it, self-confidence,
yes,
and ask for help.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's basically what you should do. So I know you received the Gold Award for creating this book, this comic book. What exactly is the Gold Award, and like how did that make you feel, like receiving it?
Yeah, so the Gold Award is the equivalent of the Eagle Scout Award for Boy Scouts. Eagle Scout Award tends to be a better known counterpart, but the Gold Award is really the pinnacle of Girl Scouts service, and it involves some community service project that I believe it requires a minimum of 80 hours. I stopped counting on the comic book after like 300-400, so you can expand it to whatever size you want it to be. But it also must have some sustainable impact on your community. And so I technically received my Gold Award about a year ago, but I've been continuing to expand my project with all the same intensity and excitement as I had when I was officially working on it. But yes, so the Gold Award is really the highest honor that you can earn in your Girl Scouting career. And right now, after having received my Gold Award, I'm trying to continue to expand my project, but also to support other Girl Scouts who are working on their own Gold Award projects. So that's really my goal. I want to pay it forward with the Girl Scout organization, because I believe it's really difficult to start your own project and to first think of an idea and then to actually have the discipline to execute it. And I was fortunate to have the Girl Scout framework to help me work through the practical steps in order to reach my vision.
And how long were you in Girl Scouts?
So I actually started later on in life. Most Girl Scouts who continue all the way through high school started when they were like brownies, daisies. I started in 7th grade. And I think some people may think Girl Scouts in middle school, it's not the coolest activity. I completely disagree. I think Girl Scouts are the coolest. And I started Girl Scouts when I was in middle school, and I've just loved participating in it ever since. And I am planning to be a lifetime Girl Scout and to continue all the way through. And actually, I'm hoping to start or to reinvigorate a Girl Scout college program that's not quite active right now. And I'm hoping that through my experience in college, I will be able to connect girls in college towns with Girl Scouts on campus, and then they can do different activities, visiting different clubs on campus. And I feel there are a lot of girls who are on the waiting list for Girl Scouts. There are about 30,000. And there's a shortage of adult volunteers who are willing to start their own troops. So that's one of my goals in college.
Yeah, and that's well needed, because a lot of high schoolers, like when girls get into high school, they think, oh, like Girl Scouts, not cool, or they like drop out and they don't want to do it anymore. So what doors has Girl Scout opened for you, and why should people be like remain a Girl Scout?
Right. So I think that's definitely a major problem. A lot of people...
Keep going.
Okay. A lot of people don't realize that as you get older, you have more and more opportunities as a Girl Scout to do projects individually. Like when you're younger, you do more things as a troop. But then once you're in middle school, you do your Silver Award project, and then in high school, your Gold Award. So you have more and more opportunities to take on these large, ambitious initiatives. And so I think Girl Scouts, even though as you get older, you also start to have sports and clubs and SATs and college and all these other concerns, Girl Scouts has to remain a priority for anyone who's in Girl Scouts, because Girl Scouts really offers you all these opportunities, like you were saying, and the opportunities to develop skills that you won't get anywhere else. Like, where else are you learning how to be confident, how to be assertive, how to be a leader? For me, I think Girl Scouts teaches the two different sides of leadership, which is leadership and management. So leadership involves more how to inspire people, how to motivate people and give them a sense of purpose. And then management is a more day-to-day sort of sending out emails, supervision, those sorts of execution type tasks. So those are skills that you need for your future as a businesswoman or in whichever field you choose to pursue. And I feel like you're not getting those skills anywhere else. So that's why Girl Scouts really has to remain the center of your life and the center of your priorities.
Yes. So I assume you're busy with school.
A little bit.
Friends, hobbies, Girl Scouts. How do you make time for everything? Because, I'm a Girl Scout, but I took a break for a year because my schedule is so busy, which I want to do it again. But how do you just fit everything into a schedule?
You just do it. I mean, there's really no other way to explain it. You just do it. And I think with Girl Scouts, it's very flexible. So with the Gold Award, you are essentially your own CEO. So it is a large commitment, but you are deciding, okay, I have soccer practice this day and I don't have time to work on my project. That's fine. As long as you find some time to work on it, it's manageable because it's completely flexible and you just adapt it to your schedule. And then you just need to have the drive and the motivation to make sure that you do work on it when you have the chance. Okay,
thank you. So college, you're going to Yale University.
Yes.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Was that your first pick?
That was my first choice. I actually applied early. So.
You did? Okay. And how are you preparing for college?
So I'm just getting excited. I mean, I'm trying to take some time for myself and just do things that I haven't had the chance to do yet. For example, reading the Harry Potter series. I never did that. It's kind of embarrassing. But things like that, and a lot of classic books that I never had the chance to read. This is my time to do all of those things.
Right.
So I'm just trying to enjoy and appreciate my last month of high school. And then I'm just off to college. I've been also working on my Girl Scout project a lot because I have a lot more downtime now that school is winding down. So I'm trying to visit as many troops, sibling support groups as possible. I've been enjoying.
And did you receive any scholarships for Yale University or from Yale?
Yes. So I actually, anyone who is applying for college, I would definitely recommend looking at all the different scholarships. I focus mostly on community service scholarships, and I was fortunate to receive many of those. I've been very appreciative of the support that I've been getting from a lot of different organizations, and all the scholarships are going to go a very long way in making college more affordable for me. So I would recommend anyone go for the scholarships, take the time to apply.
And do you have any website or anywhere where you find these scholarships? A lot of people don't know where to find it. They want scholarships, but they don't know where to start or something.
Right. I mean, Google. It's a good website. I used scholarships.com. And I mean, it depends on the type of scholarship you're looking for. Some scholarships are more need-based, others are more merit-based. They're academic scholarships, community service scholarships, athletic scholarships. So it really depends. I think if you approach your guidance counselor, that's often a good way to start, just saying that you're interested in looking for scholarships. Usually schools have a list that they can give you.
Okay, and what advice do you give the beauties or the viewers on how to, like, when applying for colleges and stuff like that, like the essay and like the application process.
Right. This is going to sound kind of counterintuitive, but I would say don't do things for college. Like, if you're just doing an activity because you feel like you're needed on your college application, that's probably not something that you should be doing.
That's true.
You want to challenge yourself, but at the same time, you also want to do what you love and to pick activities that you're genuinely interested in. So I see all the time people join tens of clubs and they feel like they have to, and they feel like they need that for their college applications, and then they don't really have that depth of involvement just because they're so busy and they take on too much. So I would say, kind of as a theme throughout this talk, pick something that you're passionate about and then really get deeply involved and support other people who are passionate and trying to do the same thing.
And that's funny that you say that, because a lot in the sophomore class, especially in my school, everyone's like, I have to do this for college or this for college, but it's like, do you really want to do it? Like, if you weren't doing it for college, like, I know some things are like a necessity, but like,
right. If you're saying that you're doing it for college, you should think about that.
Right.
Like,
yeah. So do you have any last advice for the viewers?
I would just say, kind of as I've been saying all along, be proactive, right? If you have some mission or some project that you've been wanting to do, just get started. Like, don't wait for the right time to do it. Just go for it. And I would say, especially for women, it's important for us to support each other. So we're all sort of on our own tracks and doing what we need to do, but also take the time to pay it forward and to support other women, and try not to get caught up in petty arguments. Like, just really try to support one another.
Yes. So thank you, Julie, for coming out and talking.
Thank you for having me.
That's all we have for this fabulous confabulation. And remember, Julie is a girl with beauty and brains, and so are you. So thank you.